This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. As we move slowly into spring, we're hopefully going to be seeing an awful lot more rosé on our dinner tables and in restaurants and wine bars. Rosé is something that's always been very close to my heart. What are your thoughts on rosé, Ann Sperling from Southbrook?
Well, I love rosé, and I especially like Bordeaux varietals, and Cab Franc's always been my favorite, but this year with our estate fruit in 2015, I wanted to bring some Cab Sauv into it, a little bit more savoriness, a little bit less opulent strawberry notes. So, so we just selected some of our estate Cab Sauv and Cab Franc and did a destemming, a skin soak overnight, and then pressing. So this was barrel fermented, dry, meant to capture kind of the fresh profile that comes from these grapes. And something that I love to throw out there is that Cab Sauv and Cab Franc are aromatic varieties. So you don't think about it when there's wood involved and all of that, but in fact that's that is part of the profile. So when you make it as a rosé and there's not as much competing aromatically, that's when you really notice that floral and fruity and savory notes that come through. So that's really what it's all about. But really, rosé isn't meant to be thought about too much, but just enjoyed with great food.
But would you say that this rosé verges into the kind of gastronomic rosé category?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's meant to be with food, and just the fresh things from that we all think about in spring, the early greens and the earliest vegetables and things coming from the garden that needs the support of some meat to go with it, or some seafood, of course.
How do you, as a winemaker, find that balance between achieving the perfect color on the rosé and not extracting too much to turn it into a lighter red?
Well, the ripeness of the fruit is important, and so not overripe, not too much density of color, and so this is harvested a little bit earlier, so it gives you some slightly lower alcohol for freshness, but also not as much like heaviness from things like the skins and the color there.
And how do you feel the rosé market is doing these days? I mean, we're seeing an awful lot of growth in the market, not 300-400% growth, but we're seeing a steady kind of 13-15% growth in the sales of rosé across Canada right now, which is substantial year after year. How is this affecting the way that you perhaps make rosé?
Well, I think people are recognizing, or they weren't part of the days when rosés tended to be sweet. So I think that's helping a lot.
You mean the millennials who don't remember Lancers and Matousse and things like that?
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and I think rosés are offering something that whites don't. So and that reds don't. So making a premium product, or one that's more about the expression of our vineyard, the time is right for that, because there's interest, and it's a food wine that you can't replace with white or red.
Well, I'm getting very, very hungry. All this talk of food has had me thinking about making bouillabaisse for the weekend. So.
Ooh, yeah.
Ann Sperling, thank you very much for joining us again at Good Food Revolution.
Yeah.
Bye for now.